Good morning, children. Today in this class, we are going to learn about the poem that is The Little Bee by Isaac Watts. Okay, this lesson. So in this class, we are going to learn that is the poem The Little Busy Bee. Little Busy Bee. See the from the poem name itself, we can say what will be the poem is going to be, right? So see the Little Busy Bee from Isaac Watts. So now before going to the poem, let's go for the poet introduction. Okay. So see now the Isaac Watts was born on July 17. He born on July 17, 1674 and died on November 25 and 1748. He had mastered Latin, Greek, Hebrew and French. So the first hymn book composed by him for children was Hore Lirse. Hore Lirse. So his popular hymns are O God, help in ages past. So his popular hymns are O God, our help in ages past. So the plasm of David and the plasms of David and Jesus shall resign. So now see the busy bee, always busy. So the busy bee means is always busy, right? The busy, that bee, it won't stand in one place. It will be roaming, right? It will be flying to in the search of nectar, right? So this poem is going to be about that bee itself. So it builds the hive very skillfully. Yes, no? Have you seen that hive, bee hive? Yes, no? It's very skillfully it has builded that. So and stores sweet honey in it. Yes, no? So it will store the sweet honey in that. So it will come collect the nectar from the flowers, right? So that nectar it will convert into the honey. Yes or no? So it will store in that hives. Like the bee, we too must be busy and always do useful work. So what poet is saying, always, even like bee, we should also very busy in our works. So now let's go for the poem now. So now I'll just read the poem once. See, how doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. How skillfully he builds a cell, how neatly she spreads her wax and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. In work of labor or of skill, I would be busy too. I would be busy too, for Saturn finds some mischief still for idle hands to do. So in books or work or healthful play, let my first years be passed, that I may give for every day some good account at last. This is the poem. It is only a 4 paragraph is there. So okay, now I'll just explain you the poem. See, how does the little busy bee, how that means the death means it's a past, means olden days what they are saying, instead of dust they used to say the death. How does the little busy bee, how does the little busy bee improve each shining hour? So improving it's every hour it is keep on shining, as no. So and gather honey all the day. Yes, no. So by searching of the nectar from the flower, so it will collect the nectar. It will, that is the collecting the drop by drop. It is called the honey. Okay. So and gather honey all the day. It will be gathering means collecting all the honey. Okay, and storing in its hive from every opening flower, from all the every opening flower. It will collect the nectar and collect it and that's bee. So how skillfully she builds a cell. How skillfully means how nicely, how hard work it has did to build its hive, right? So it is very nice also, right? So and how neatly she spreads her wax. So it is like different shapes in the bee hive. If you see means how neatly it has spreads a wax also. See, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. Not only one bee can make, so the many bee. The labors means many who are working together, right? The workers. Labors means the workers. So workers remaining the bees that everyone has everyone has builded that hive with the sweet food that what they are collecting that bee hive, that honey. Okay, so in work of labor or of skill, I would be busy too. So in work of labor, I said no, it's a workers, or of skill of, even we will be busy too. If it is like that work is there, even we will be also very busy. For Saturn finds some mischief still. So Saturn means what? Yes, Saturn means evil spirit. They're having more spirit, and the king of devils, or it's more spirits, or the or king of devils. Okay, so find so mischief still for idle hands to do. So for idle means they are sitting simply, right? For those there is nothing. So for idle hands to do. In books or work are healthful play, lets my first years be passed. So in books or work or healthful play, so in the books or else with the work of healthful means which is hygienic for to them to play, lets my first year it let it pass. That may give for every day, so that may give us for the every day some good account at last. Some good account means what at last, what we are getting the result, no, so that, so some good account at last. Okay, so this is the poem from, this is a poet written by Sir Isaac Watts. Okay, Isaac Watts. So now let's go for the meanings, children. So see, the meanings is death. Death means old form of does. Death means old form of does. So the next one, second one is improve. Improve, make good use of. Improvements, make good use of. Third one is shining. Shining is bright. Third one is shining. Shining is bright. The fourth one is gather. Gather means what? Collect. The what bee will do, it will collect the nectar from all the flower, right? So the honey, it's collecting the honey, right? So the gathering all the nectars, the collecting. Okay, so the next one, fifth one is skillful. Skillful means it's clever. How cleverly it has built his hive, right? No, so skillful means clever. So the sixth one is cells, a small compartment in the hive. Yes, no, it is like in the diamond shapes. Yes, no, like this. The beehives, it will be like this. No, so this is the compartments, the small compartments that we can see, that is called the cells. So the next one, seventh one is Saturn. Saturn means it's a evil spirit or king of devils. Okay, evil spirit or king of devils. So the next one, eighth one is mischief. Mischief means injury or damage. Mischief means injury or damage. The ninth one is idle. Idle means doing nothing. So idle means what? It's doing nothing. So the next 10th one, first years. First years means it's early years. First year means it's early years or the poet's boyhood, the childhood days. What he was saying, talking about his means, it was talking about his boyhood means it's a childhood days. So the next one is give account. Say what you have done. So say what you have done. Already it has what he has done, that he was saying, right? So that is the say what you have done. So the 12th one at last. So at the end of life. At the end of life. So the next one is answer the following. So here the answer the following. So see, the first one is, who is the poet speaking about? About what? About whom he is speaking about? Yes, no. So he is speaking about the busy honey bee, right? He is speaking about the busy honey bee, how he is busy. Daily, whole day, the honey will be busy, right? So even we should also be like that. So the poet is speaking about the busy honey bee. So the next one, why does the bee sit on the flower? So here see why it will sit on the flower, for collecting the nectar, right? The bee sits on the flower to suck the nectar in the flower, to suck the nectar in the flower. Why does the bee sit on the flower? The bee sits on the flower to suck the nectar in the flower. Okay, so the third one, how does the bee build her cell? So the bee builds her cell very skillfully, very cleverly, right? So with many cells, with many compartments. So see, the bee builds her cell skillfully. The bee builds her cell skillfully. The fourth one, I would be busy too. Who does I refer to? So I refers to the poet Isaac Watts. Okay, so I refers to the poet Isaac Watts. See here, I would be busy too. Even I will be busy, right? If the like busy bee, so I would be busy too. This line was the poet said to himself itself. So the poet name is Sir Isaac Watts. I refers to the poet Isaac Watts. Okay, so the next fifth one, what does sweet food mean in the context? So here in the context, sweet food means it's a honey. As no, by collecting drop by drop the nectars from other different flowers, and it will stores in one place all the nectars which and all. See, it is not only from the one flower, right? It is from the different flowers it has collected that nectars, right? So when it is collected, it will become a sweet food. Sweet food means what it refers to, it is honey. It is not food means it is not food, it's a honey. In the context, sweet food means it's a honey. So the sixth one, who does Satan manage to walk through? So Satan manages to walk through idle people and bring about destruction. So okay, so see here, Satan means it's a devil spirit who are all sitting idle, doing anything, right? Simply sitting means it's walk through the idle people. Sitting simply means the Satan who will work with them, right? There will be destruction, bring about destruction. So the seventh one, why does the poet call the bee busy? See, the poet calls the bee busy because it is always working from morning to evening. As no, it will busy. The bee, it will work always, whole day. It will be working. They collect the honey from the flowers and store it well in the hive. So what it will do, they will collect the honey, means nectar from the different flowers and store it in the hives, right? Well in the hives. They are not idle and do not spend time wastefully. They are not sitting simply. They are not wasting their time. Okay, so they just making use of the time. They are not wasting the time also. So the next one, eighth one, let my first years be past. Let my first years be past. Here the first question regarding this is, what does first years refers to? What does first years refers to? The first years refers to boyhood years of the past. So boyhood year means it's a childhood days of the past of the Isaac Watt, the poet Isaac Watt. Okay. So the next one, how does the poet want to spend his first years? So here the poet wants to spend his first years in studies or in work or in a play. Okay. So always, obviously, everyone will spend their time like this in their childhood days. So the third one, why does he want to do so? So he wanted to do so to have some good account for his end of life. So end of life, okay. So why you wanted to become very busy means end of life means at the end of our age. After some years, we want some good money with us, right? So for that, we have to work hard. So next is, how can you say that the bee is intelligent and clever? So here see, the bee builds its hive very skillfully. The bee builds its hive very skillfully. The beehive is beautiful, so to see, right? No, so it like the cells, many cells are there in that, so it will look very beautiful also, and it has hundreds of compartments like this. The many compartments, cells will be there, and it is strong and made up of wax. It is very strong and it is made up of wax that is secreted in its body. So from its body where the wax will secreted, no, from it will made that heat, and it converts nectar into honey. So it converts the nectars, what it is collected from the flowers, right? So it will convert that into a honey, which is sweet and healthy. That honey is very much sweet as well as healthy also. So the poet says that the bee is intelligent and clever. Yes, no, from these things we can say that the bee is very intelligent and clever. So what is admirable about the work of the bee? So here see, the beehive is very beautiful to see, but it is very complicated to build. As no, to build like this compartments, it is very complicated one by one. As no, so it is built very beautifully that, and the skill of building the hive and conversion of nectar to honey are admirable works of the bee. Okay, so it's the way it builds its and it converts that nectar into the honey. It is the most thing we are admirable from that bee. So why does the poet want us to be like the bee? So here see, the poet wants us to be like the bee because the bee is useful to society and it's busy always. So the bee is very much important for our society, and it is it is always busy also. Yes, no. So the same way we should also be helpful to society by doing good and useful work and not to remain idle. So even same like B, we have to work. Work means what? To we have to be helpful to our society, and we should not sit simply. Okay, and we should not waste our time also. Always we have to make a use of our time. So the 12th one, why should we not keep ourselves idle? What will happen if you are idle? So here see, we should not keep ourselves idle because Satan will play its part in our life. Means evil spirit, it will play in our life. If you sit simply, no work for you, means what you will do? You will be thinking one other thing, you will waste your time and you will become lazy, right? So for that, what poet has said, the Satan will take your part in your life. So Satan means it's evil spirit. Okay. So the 13th one, what is the message of the poem? So the message of the poem is Kayakave Kailasa, means work is worship. Kayakave Kailasa means work is worship. Always we have to do hard work. We should always be engaged in one or the other useful work. We should keep ourselves always busy. We should not sit simply. Okay, we should not waste our time. Which lines do you like the best in the poem? Give reasons for your choice. See, the poet lines is, how did the little busy bee improve each shining hour? So why we like that alignment? See, these lines in the poem I like the best. The poet wonders how the bee is busy through out of its life. Okay, so the lines in the poem I like the best. The two lines what it is there in the first two lines. Okay, the poet wonders how the bee is busy through out of his life. Yes, no, from this lines we can know how the bee is busy in his life every minute, every hour and every day in its life, and to improve himself, right? It is to improve himself. Yes, no, and for the society also it is very helpful. So even we should also keep ourselves busy always like the bee. So the 15th one, pick out the rhyming words in the poem and more words to each of the following. So rhyming pair, for example, it is play, day, may. So the next one, the first one is Hawa, shower, flower. Okay. The second one is sell, well, dwell. Sell, well, and dwell. The third one, skill, still, bill. Skill, still, bill. So the third main, that is pick out the best alternative for each of the following. People like the B because see the options are it is clever, so it sits on the opening flower, it works hard, and the fourth one is they get honey from it. So the correct answer is it works hard. So people like the bee because it works hard. Okay, it works hard. The correct answer is it works hard. So the next second one, and the labors hard to store it well. Here it refers to, see the options, the bee, the honey, the wax, and at last the flower. So, and the labors hard to store it well. Here it refers to the bee. So, here it refers to the bee. Okay, children, I think you all understood this poem. The next class, I'll teach you the grammar. Thank you.